honestly speaking, I think it's a great show. For those who are just stepping into to the Transformers universe for the first time, you guys have just crafted something so special and so wonderful. So thank you guys for this, and thank you for your time, of course.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us, Mike.
Thanks for having
Of
us.
course. It going into the idea of just being a Transformers fan and everything, I mean, I certainly grew up, and I'm dating myself here. I grew up with the Gen 1 Transformers cartoon, the originals. And I have to ask, for you guys getting into the Transformers world, coming from the Ninja Turtles world, and then Sydney coming into to voice Robby here and everything like that as well. I mean, what were your first experiences like with Transformers, just in general, before coming on to EarthSpark?
Well, I got to watch the 2007 Transformers movie with my dad, and just being so inspired by that, being a regular kid, and all of a sudden your car becoming Bumblebee, like how cool is that? I think everybody has this idea of maybe wanting to hopefully be the chosen one, kind of, and be on this adventure with Transformers, and now they get to do that with Transformers EarthSpark. Everybody lives through Robbie's and Moe's shoes just to understand like what it would be every day to wake up and your siblings are Earthborn Terrans. Like, how cool is that? So I think everybody can really use this series to live through them and get to know the characters a lot better.
Absolutely. Ant and Dale, how about you guys?
I mean, it's not really dating, I guess, but yeah, I'm G1 through and through. Transformers has always held a really special place in my heart as a franchise, but also as it's the only toy that I still collect, like avidly. Even before working on Transformers EarthSpark with Dale, I'd be out getting all the masterpiece collection, as saving up and getting it when I could. But yeah, I always remember specifically with the Transformers toys is that we had the show in South Africa, but we didn't have any of the toys. So my only access point to the toys was on these annual trips that we'd visit relatives in Ireland, and we'd stop over in Heathrow, and they had a mini little Hamleys toy store in Heathrow at the airport, and I'd get my one Transformer every year. Which I was always like, it's great seeing family, but it's also great getting that Transformer.
I love that. Dale, how about you?
My first touch points involved toys as well. My older brother had the G1 Starscream action figure that was in our brown wicker toy chest in the basement of our parents' house, where it would co-mingle with all the other franchise toys that were in there as well. And G1 was in syndication at the time, so the very first new Transformers content that I was consuming with my two brothers was the Beast Wars CG animated series that was coming on weekly, and we would devour.
I loved Beast Wars. And honestly, I was a G1 fan as well, but there was a huge resurgence, Sydney, like with you. There was a huge resurgence when I got into the movies, because that was the first time we saw it come to life. So just for you guys to add that your stamp onto this long-running mythology, it's got to be wonderful, and you guys have just done a fantastic job of that. And Sydney, for you, I mean, like when we think about Robby and what a good-hearted character he is, he's a flawed human character, but he's also got such a pure, wonderful spirit and heart. And he's got the makings of a real leader as well. When you think about how Robby compares to Spike, or I guess in the movies, Sam Witwicky, what were the qualities that after you saw those kinds of human characters leading the Transformers, or guiding them on Earth, did that inspire your performance and what you ended up injecting into Robby when you brought him to life?
Sure. Well, I think a through line through all of those characters that kind of get chosen by the Transformers are, they do kind of feel like outsiders in a way. Robby specifically, having just moved, definitely feels like an outsider from what he used to know. But after being able to discover this amazing thing, as you see in the first episode, the glowy cave and all of that, to be able to have that transition to having Earthborn Terrans be his siblings, I think it really speaks to everyone, that feels like maybe they are left out or they don't always belong in every situation. And it's the things that make you different that really are special about you. So I think Ant and Dell do a great job of highlighting that, as well as the rest of the team. And that's why I love playing Robby.
Definitely a hero for the next generation of Transformers fans, and I think that folks are just going to, his name's going to be synonymous with really Transformers in the same way that Sam from the movies or Spike from the G1 shows are going to be. So I really love the character too. It's, and you do such a great job with him as well. Um for Ant and Dale, I mean, like, you guys, when you get this show, and you know the established mythology so well, to add on to that mythology with your own ideas, it's a real risky sort of thing, and it could be very scary. But you guys do such a great job of it, especially with the Terran characters, which is a new part of this mythology. Certainly, how this war in Cybertron kind of gets resolved, and Megatron's new found, status, I guess. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's very surprise. It was a surprise for me when you guys are asked to make these sort of updates and changes and introduce your new ideas to this mythology. I mean, what's that like for you? Was that a lot of pressure? And where did you come up with these sort of ideas as you were putting these together?
It was a responsibility that we always feel anytime we're crafting any piece of creative for the show, is how do we stay true to the core of this franchise and its characters, and how do we not retread the same ground that any other of the wonderful projects that have existed in Transformers has already done. So we talk about it a lot, but we usually deconstruct a situation or a character, like who are they at their core, where do they come from, where have they been, who are they, and what would organically make sense for them in this new chapter of their lives. So like for Megatron, for example, that you brought up, yeah, that's a big shift from the Megatron that everybody knows from all other popular media and Transformers. But we took a look at his history. Where did he come from? How did him and Optimus first meet? Where did their relationship begin, and where might it be now? And they began as partners in the lore that we borrow from, where they were both Megatron was a disenfranchised member of Cybertronian society, and Optimus Prime was Orion Pax, a data clerk. They both wanted to overthrow the caste system that was oppressive to all Cybertronian kind and limiting bots' potential, and had this awful system of inequality in place that they banded together to overthrow. And once that was achieved, that's where things got a little squirrely for them, and they divided because their idea of how to achieve what next was starkly different. But back to Megatron in current times and EarthSpark, yeah, we were like, it's not outside of his character to reassess and reconsider the values that he's chasing and what he's after and how to go about it. So that's where that decision came from, and it all just came from looking backwards and at the core of who these characters really are.
And when
Did you want to add
these characters like Optimus, who I think it's important for us to show you can be a strong leader without always running around, orchestrating and being the general of a war. He embodies acceptance, he embodies understanding, and he embodies what's so important to this show, which is acceptance.
Wonderful. And if I can ask one final question from all of you guys, it's a quick one, I promise. We're certainly now in the era of the Transformers movies where we're starting to see things from our childhood, like the Beast Wars machines and characters coming into the films. I mean, imagine years down the line if you guys got to see Robby and the Terrans and things that you created come to life in live action. I mean, what would that be like for you guys? How would you guys feel if you guys saw all that?
Oh, I would be so thrilled and proud of everyone who's worked on this show and all the storytellers seeing what their hard work has netted. Because if people love these characters as much as we do, it's because the crew puts their heart and soul into every frame of every episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much.